want to thank everybody for coming today. Really appreciate all the love and support you guys shown us, and really appreciate the love and support you guys have shown each other too. Um, so we're gonna go ahead, and my mom is gonna lead a prayer first, and there she is, guys, my beautiful mom. No, we want you to come right here.
Okay, pass the mic. In the name of Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Hold on. Heavenly Father, we are deeply saddened by our loss, but you said, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you." Lord, we know that those who believe in you have everlasting life. So we celebrate the life of Dindo because he has transitioned from the temporal life to new life. Help us to hold Dindo's memories as we continue to live on in the hope of the eternal kingdom. Amen.
Thanks, Mom. So now, my sister's boyfriend Carlisle is gonna read a letter that my cousin Pipo wrote. So give it up for him.
So, like Marco said, this is a message from one of Dindo's nephews in the Philippines. I think it might sound strange to say that you might be the first adult who I ever thought was cool. You were the Tito with the toys. I always remember always wanting to go to your house just because I knew that it would always be fun. I remember the many fun things you seemed to just have out of nowhere, like this comprehensive Hulk comic book collection, which is probably a big reason why I will always find Bruce Banner to be so compelling. It was my initiation into the lore of Marvel, and it's probably why I know about the Watchers when other kids didn't. I remember having all these sleepovers with no other kids, just you and Papa at times, so I could play Mortal Kombat with you, and I hated how you would never let me win. I mean, who doesn't let a child win? You always had a sense of fun about you, playful and weirdly funny. The time and distance never really changed how I saw you. I guess it made me realize how strangely alike we are, especially these days. Heck, I'm even working for the same company where you once worked. What are the odds, right? These days have been so long that I often forget how life is so short. I'm heartbroken at how sudden this all is. If anything gives me comfort, you must be with Papa, Mama, and Inai right now. At long last, yet way too soon if that makes any sense. We love you, Tito Do. We missed you for a while now, and I guess we'll just have to miss you some more. But one day at a time, I guess. For now, I'll remember and maybe hold a little closer the pieces of myself I know somehow you had a hand in. Next will be a message from one of Tito Dindo's friends growing up, and it's going to be read by Nenea. Give it up for her.
Thanks, Carly. I'm Naya. I'm one of Anne's best friends. So this is from Tita Jet, and it's a letter to Anne and Marco. I just wanted to share some of my memories of your dad with you. I was one of your dad's many good friends back in college. To make a long story short, your dad used to go out with my best friend, and we were also members of the same school organization. Our group spent a lot of class breaks and summer breaks together. We even got to visit your great-grandparents one summer in La Union. That's how our group became close. We were like cousins of the same age, hanging out, just having fun. Although I was a third wheel with Do and my best friend, Do never made me feel awkward or uncomfortable. He was always very inclusive and considerate with all of his friends that no one felt left out. He didn't pull my friend away from me, but instead, he invited us to his activities with his friends, who later on also became our lifelong friends. Do was also very kind. During late night events, he gave us a ride home, And to all those who needed it, no matter how out of the way they lived, if he couldn't do it, he helped us arrange it. One thing I will always remember about Do was that he was a very funny man. He was quick with his wit and sense of humor, and it made everything light and fun. He was game to make anyone laugh. He liked speaking gibberish with a certain foreign accent. He sounded so good that it could be deceiving. One time, he wore a 70s outfit to a party, a psychedelic, wide-collared shirt, bell-bottom pants, complete with an afro wig. He made everyone crack up. There are many more happy and hilarious moments with Do that made our college days so fun. I still feel the joy when I remember them. I believe that if you remember someone and it makes you smile, then that person was a gift to you, and he must have lived a purposeful life because he contributed to your happy memories. Later on, Do went to the States to study, but he stayed connected with us through the years, through letters. Yes, old-fashioned handwritten letters. We didn't have cell phones, so texts did not exist. Emails were only for high-tech companies. Eventually, he came back. Life went on, college relationships ended, we graduated, etc. But we stayed good friends through our working life, new relationships, and even became friends with everyone's new partners, like your mom. Attended each other's weddings and children's parties, and I saw your parents when they visited Hong Kong, and again when I visited the US. That's how much our friendship has been through. In fact, Marco, I'm one of your ninas. Maybe the last time I saw you both was either during Marco's baptism or on his birthday in La Union. I can still remember your dad's expression of pure joy whenever he shared about you, adoring you both. It would be nice to see you and your mom again one of these days. Anyway, as our families and responsibilities grew, some of us moved out of the country. We unfortunately lost touch. Ironically, reconnecting became harder despite the improved technology and reaching out just a few clicks away as life became more hectic. I wish we got reconnected earlier, before he left this world. Our hearts felt heavy when we found out, and we all miss him dearly. Your dad was a gentle and kind soul who shared his life generously with us, and we will always cherish all the kindness he has done and the happy memories he left us. Take care, and may peace be with you. Is it your turn?
Thanks, Naya. Hi, guys. Okay. I've struggled so hard to find the right words to say. Unlike my dad, I've always hated writing, but we're similar in other ways. We both love creativity and art. We both have really bad eyesight. When we're angry, we get quiet. We both loved watching TV shows and movies. That's what we bonded over the most. We would talk about our current shows and recommend each other new ones, even though every time I would suggest a new show or movie, chances are he'd seen it already. Back when Game of Thrones was the show to watch, we would go to his apartment every week to drink wine and watch the newest episode. This started a tradition that continued on to other shows, and that Marco and I have kept going, now with the Book of Boba Fett. This little tradition seems small and simple, but honestly, that's what our relationship centered around. It wasn't about the big grand gestures. It was about these small, intimate moments of quality time. Whether that was watching an episode, or having a meal together, singing karaoke, or doing a puzzle. I know those were the moments where he found joy. Although I didn't expect it to be our last, I think it's sort of fitting that the last time we spent together in person was this past Thanksgiving. A few days before, my work had asked everyone in the office to send a quote of what we would be thankful for the holiday. I said, I'm thankful to have divorced parents that are still friends. We still get to enjoy the holidays together as a family. My thoughts would always come back to that. How Marco and I were so lucky that our parents still cared for each other and for us, despite not being married anymore. Our Thanksgiving was a simple lunch that we spent together along with Carlisle and Jackie. And then we watched a few episodes of Cowboy Bebop on Netflix. Again, small and simple, but I know that in that moment, he was happy having us all there. It breaks my heart thinking about all the big things that my dad won't be here for. He won't be able to walk me down the aisle or meet my future kids. But what hurts the most is not having him here just for the everyday things. I'll miss his warmth, our conversations about our shows, his cooking and his singing. I'll miss the sound of him shuffling down the stairs, or how whenever we had friends over, he'd hang out with us for a bit and maybe take a shot or two with us too. To some of our friends, he'll always be remembered as the legend. I'll miss having him to lean on for advice and guidance. I learned a lot from my dad: how to make pancakes, how to trust the process. But most importantly, he taught Mark and I to always be there for each other. He would tell me that I only have one brother and that I should always be there for him because he is the one person I can count on to always do the same for me. I promise you, Dad, that I won't ever forget that. So don't worry. I got Marco and Mom always. This past month has been so hard on all of us. But I know that as long as we have each other, we'll be okay. And I know your spirit is with us, watching over us and guiding us too. Dad, I hope you know how proud I am to have had you as a father. You were someone who modeled your values, not just talked about them. You always made sure that people felt warm and comfortable and welcomed. You showed us that it's never too late to follow your dreams. And I'm so thankful that you were able to immortalize yourself in your writings. These stories that I can read whenever I'm missing you, and that I will read to my children too one day. At the end of my dad's last book, he wrote, "If you don't like the story, write it yourself. The best things in life are the people you love, the places you've seen, and the memories you've made along the way." My dad lived his life appreciating the small and simple things, and with his kind heart, he created happy memories with the people he met along the way. So I'll honor my dad by doing the same and finding joy in the moments I spend with the people I love. Dad, I love you so much, and I'll keep you in my heart forever. Thank you for all the advice, lessons, memories, and of course, all the love. I'll be missing you until the day we can be together again.
Damn. How am I supposed to go after that? It's not fair. It's a lot more pressure when you're last. How you guys doing? You guys doing good? Hungry? We're almost there. Almost there. I just want to say, even though it's like really sad, everything, I feel good, I feel good that you guys are here with me. Because, this is a celebration of life, and we're all here because of love. And that's a beautiful thing. I'm grateful you guys met my dad at one point. And if you don't think you did, you actually have, because you see him all the time through me. You see him through my sister. A lot of people say I look like him, but I don't see it. I'm a lot cuter than him. But he did have a lot of hair and some dimples, so I'm pretty jealous about that. My dad was a smart guy. He knew a lot of things, you know, a lot of fun facts. He read a lot of books. I still have all his comics. He was a big nerd. He even wrote like a whole trilogy and a handful of screenplays. I'm glad he passed down his brains to at least one of us. It was me. But he wrote this one screenplay called The Accidental Writer. And, you know, it was written to be a whole feature film. So it's about 120 pages. But what's really interesting about this one was he based like 70% of it on his own life, on real events, like 2/3 of the whole script. And, you know, I didn't really appreciate it much back then. You know, I'd read it and like, you know, it's a cool story. But, you know, I reread it and I read it over again, and it's just crazy because I could feel almost everything that he went through. And I remember it too. He had life kind of hard. He was pushing uphill for a long time. He had a few more setbacks than others. But for the last 5 or 6 years, you know, he was a really optimistic guy and never carried any kind of negative energy around him, unless he was talking about politics. But, you know, he was just real passionate about that. He cared a lot about other people and how they felt. You know, he was real passive, but if you were close enough to him that he was comfortable enough to have a conversation with you, you know, he would rarely ever do small talk. You know, he goes straight for the deep shit. He loved being philosophical and questioning everything. Most of our conversations would be in our backyard. He'd always have his cigarette, and, you know, I'd have my own little thing, you know, a drink or whatever. Yeah, we would talk about everything, you know, we'd chop it up, we'd talk about life, talk about religions and everything, and even if it was like 5 minutes or 1 hour, we would always get one conversation in. He was a real minimalist. He never bought new clothes, you know, he wasn't materialistic at all. He didn't need the newest anything. Actually made it really hard to shop for him for his birthday and Christmas, because all he would ever ask for is world peace, like, and socks. Like, who does that? You know. He was a great dad, and I truly mean that. He made mistakes, but honestly, who hasn't? I'm grateful that we lived together the last 2 years of his life, and I'm even more grateful he lived with my sister 2 years before that. You know, there were times when I would get a little annoyed by him, but nothing major, you know, we would never get in a fight. Probably our biggest disagreement was whether or not you should rinse your dishes before putting them in the dishwasher. And you definitely should rinse them. I know he posted something on Facebook where you shouldn't, but like, it's crazy. But besides that, he would never get mad at me, no matter how many times I fucked up, you know, and he would definitely never get mad at my sister. And my dad would never judge us. One night he came downstairs and he saw AJ cutting my hair, but it was different. It was like skin bald, right? And he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm gonna get a tattoo in the back of my head tomorrow." And he was like, "Oh, cool." My mom, on the other hand, was a different story. I had to tell her after I got it. But yeah, he would never judge us, never get mad. Like my friends and I, we would throw parties and kickbacks at the house, and it would be loud, like belligerently loud sometimes. The music would be loud, the people would be loud. When we were making music, we'd be doing it till like 5 in the morning sometimes, and I'd be having a good time, drinking and whatnot, and like just randomly I would remember like, damn, it's kind of loud in here. So I'd run up the stairs, knock on his door, and I'd be like, "Dad, I'm so sorry. Like, I could turn on music, I could kick people out. What do you want me to do?" And he was like, "No, it's okay." He would always say like, "It's okay. It's not too loud." Like ever. Even when he was working, like we'd have parties during the day, and he'd still be working, and I'd be like, "Dad, are you sure it's not that loud?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's fine." He even bought a bass guitar so he could learn to play and make music with us. Like that's how cool he was. The few times I've gotten in big trouble, mostly with my mom, he would just talk to me. He wouldn't scold me or yell at me. He would just talk to me like we were friends. He would ask me why I did it. But most importantly, he would ask me if I learned from it. I say he was a great dad because all he wanted was to see my sister and I be happy. He supported anything that we did. He always emphasized chasing our dreams, doing what you love, believing that we could do anything. Hundreds of times he would tell us, if you love what you do, you won't have to work a day in your life. He didn't care about how much money we made or how successful we became. He just wanted to see us be truly happy. I've learned so much this last month. So much from my dad and life. Whoever said have no regrets never lost somebody. I learned that you're always going to regret something. But you shouldn't dwell on your regrets because life goes on. Instead, I've learned that you should try to regret as little as possible. What's up, Mark? So how do you do this? Well, there's two ways. One, obviously you do what makes you happy. If you haven't found what makes you happy yet, it's okay. My dad, he loved writing and loved reading, but like he really fell in love with it 7 years ago. And then he wrote 3 books. So keep exploring, keep learning, keep rediscovering yourself until you find what really makes you happy and feel fulfilled. And 2, spend quality time with people that truly love you, with people that share the same frequency as you. Be present, be aware. And if you don't think anyone loves you, get a dog. You laugh. I'm just kidding. Someone loves you. I've learned that life can get extremely hard and it can be unfair. It can switch on you overnight. And I'm not talking about myself. My dad had it very hard for a long time. His life changed within a matter of days, and it lasted years. But he was still able to get himself out of this dark place. He still found a reason to smile. He was still an amazing dad. So how do you get out of bed every day when life seems like complete shit? And what I've learned from him is that no matter what life throws at you, how hard your situation is, or whatever circumstances you may face, there are blessings all around you. Love is all around you, right? Drinking clean water is a blessing. Getting out of bed is a blessing. And all of us being here together in this moment right now is love. And more importantly, it's love for my dad. Thanks.
Ah